In the current climate, every one of us has a responsibility, a positive role to play. The effort by the rogue element, unfortunately, a minority still, but present nevertheless, amongst politicians and amongst the media, is trying to plant the seed of division and hatred in our society and country. And there is a responsibility on our shoulder to ensure that they don't win this war of words, which leads to physical running battles on the streets, this rioting, this looting. In whose name? This is our country. We live here. You work here. Your parents, many of you, your grandparents, rebuilt this country after the Second World War. And currently, as working people, as professionals, you contribute at every level in education, in medicine, in science and technology, in politics, in the civil service. At every level on the streets of this country, you are shoulder to shoulder. You have a contribution in every field. Whether your forefathers are indigenous to these lands over the last centuries, or at some stage your forefathers migrated, or you migrated yourself from Arabia, from Africa, from Asia, and you worked hard to build your future, to get an education. Those of you who were born here, and those of you who migrated, and you know more about the British system and constitution than British people, because you gave an exam in which you had to study a thick textbook called? Sorry? Life in the UK. So you know more about Queen Victoria and the whole line of kings and queens than many British people. You made an effort to pass your English exams, and you continue to work here, but you have a responsibility. Then be an honest and sincere person with integrity, that people should be proud to employ you. Don't dodge your obligations towards the state, and don't claim anything that you're not entitled to, so that no one can raise a finger against you. Don't be that minority of people who misuse the system. Be a positive, a force for good, a positive influence. And if someone shouts some racist trope against you, then some swear word, then don't respond with a similar word. Don't give them an accented British F word or whatever it may be. Say something nice. Give them a smile. Or وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. The servants of Ar-Rahman, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. The servants of Ar-Rahman Ta'ala, of Allah Azza wa Jal, are the ones who walk gently, humbly on the earth. And when ignorant people address them, they make peace with them. They say salam. They don't get into arguments, quarrels with fools. So that minority, that street, that rogue element, don't engage with them. And don't fan the flames by sharing fake and false news. Be careful about what you say. These days it's very easy to generate images and to attach one thing to another which have no connection. I was just saying that you can picture a queue at a bus stop and then put it up and say this is a protest. For or against. So this is a time in which lies are being spread. And sadly, the media and some politicians are not fulfilling their responsibility in calming the situation. Not the majority, but that rogue element. Don't be one of them. Don't allow people to spread fake news, false news. Don't spread lies. And don't stop living your normal lives. Take precautions. Take precautions, but go to work as normal. Next week, children will be going back to school as normal, inshallah. And keep coming to the masajid. Occupy your place in the saf. Join the congregation. Attend classes. with your head high. You've got nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed of. Fine, if you feel vulnerable, don't walk alone and don't go to trouble spots, but don't believe in fake news. There are so many people who believed in the false news that there would be huge protests in Glasgow, which didn't happen because Glaswegians aren't like that by and large. This isn't our history. What do you think? Yes or no? See now the common fabric of society. You've lived amongst these mountains. You've lived in this city, in these lands for a generation or two or three or four. It's now upon all of us to show that this is our land and we belong to it. And this is a human family, and we will reach out to our neighbors, our employees, our employers. We will stand as one, and we will not allow this false narrative to succeed in this region. We will be an example for the rest of the world. Yes, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So like I say, be reassured. And in terms of the spiritual level, of course we need to turn to the Almighty Azza wa Jal. Safety and security and material prosperity is in the hands of the Almighty. تُؤْتِي الْمُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتَنْزِعُ الْمُلْكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ. Allah Azza wa Jal gives stability and leadership, and He gives residence to peoples in lands when He wills and how He wills, and He takes that away when He wills and how He wills. It's in His hands. Look at the story of the Ashabul Kahf. Many of you will have recited that surah. It's something we should recite regularly, especially on Jumu'ah. What is the dua of the Ashabul Kahf? رَبَّنَا آتِنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً وَهَيِّئْ لَنَا مِنْ أَمْرِنَا رَشَدًا. It's an important dua. Memorize it, recite it. And رَبَّنَا لَا تَجْعَلْنَا فِتْنَةً لِلْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Oh Allah, don't make us the target of oppressive people. And also the Mu'awwidhatayn, morning and evening, the final surahs for spiritual and physical protection. And Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. This is something that if you recite it, Allah gives 4 promises. Those who recited it, Allah said, when the Sahaba recited it, people were frightening them that everyone's against you, so you should be afraid. And they said, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us and He'll take care of our affairs. فَانْقَلَبُوا, Allah says, they returned, بِنِعْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ, with Allah's favor. وَفَضْلٍ, with Allah's favor and His generosity, His fadl. لَمْ يَمْسَسْهُمْ سُوء, no harm came to them. وَاتَّبَعُوا رِضْوَانَ اللَّهِ, and they walked on the path of Allah's pleasure. 4 promises. You say, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, Allah's ni'mah, Allah's fadl, no harm coming to you. And you be on the path of Allah's pleasure. وَاتَّبَعُوا رِضْوَانَ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ ذُو الْفَضْلِ الْعَظِيمِ. So these are the things to do. So let's be assured and reassured. Yes, your sisters, wear your hijab with pride. Brothers and sisters, continue your prayer. Go to work as usual. Trust in Allah and don't be part of this false narrative. Inshallah, we'll get past this storm as well. Yes, and it'll be a part of history. And those who have tried to fan the flames of disunity will fail once again. May Allah accept what's been said and make it a source of guidance and reassurance for us all. Make us a part of positive change. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.